What's going on, everybody? It's the Recap Lunch Hour with Guff, me, Ryan McGuffey, brought to you by our fine partners at Hooters. Check out one of their 11 Chicagoland locations at originalhooters.com. Happy to be back in the flesh here in the Recap studios, and plenty to discuss. Obviously, the title game last night, Houston led for 39 minutes and coughed it up late, kind of reminiscent of how they lost or how they won the Duke game. The Cubs offense, I want to talk about that because there's been so much talk about the Cubs bullpen that I think there should be some talk about what the Cubs do offensively. Certainly on the other side of town, maybe the lack of offense and the lack of just overall talent. The White Sox have scored just 13 runs during their 5-game losing streak. And then most importantly, the Chicago Bears are back. They're back at Halas Hall. Ben Johnson officially off and running as head coach. Caleb Williams met the media today, and it all seems right that we're talking about football again at Halas Hall because Caleb Williams has a pep in his step and pretty much a shaved head. And you could tell the excitement of Ben Johnson. You could tell the excitement from the players, from the organization. I personally like Jalen Johnson, who said, I don't want to get caught up in the excitement. Let's talk in November and December and when we're actually in playoff games and winning playoff games before we start talking people up again. And I think that's the right approach. We've had too much of the other things last night, or the other things going on over the last couple of years of, this is the year, this is the team. And then we just get flat out disgusted by whether it's coaching, talent, lack thereof. That's what happens. Clyde, what's up, man? Great game by Florida last night. I picked them to win the Final Four. You, my friend, congratulations. I did have them to win the whole thing in a pool. I was the only one, and I finished 6th. It tells you everything you need to know about the rest of my bracket. It's the first time I can recall not finishing the top 3 by having the right champion that no one else did. DV, nice seeing Justin Steele back to 2023 form last night. Cubs dominated that game. The Texas Rangers didn't look like they really wanted to be there all that much, and Justin Steele went to work. He struck out 8. He's starting to take those steps, folks, to becoming that dude. I would argue, and he may not like this, I don't know if he's a 1. He's probably a 1A in my book right now. Like if you had an actual legit stud, then I think he's a perfect number 2, but Justin Steele certainly right now off and running. Shota would like to have a conversation about who the Cubs ace is. This is something I wanted to talk about because the Cubs are 8-5. They're in first place. They absolutely should be 10-3. They absolutely should be 10-3. They blew that Sunday game in Arizona. They blew the game the other day against the Padres. 2 Sunday games they've actually blown. But from an offensive standpoint, they lead the NL in runs, hits, and RBI. They're second in home runs only to the Dodgers. Those are things that I think need to be discussed because it's allowing guys like Matt Shaw to learn on the job, and you're not necessarily putting the spotlight on him that he's got to carry the team offensively. PCA. Michael Busch had 2 extra base hits last night, a double and a triple as the Cubs poured it on and added 4 in the 6th. And Miguel Amaya, the catching position from the Cubs has been absolutely asinine. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pull that up. I want to say him and Carson Kelly have that they have the most RBIs from the catching position of any team in baseball. Batting 9th, the Cubs have 15 RBI. That's far and away the best in the game. That's because it's usually where they have the catcher. And I'm trying to see if I can clear. From the catching position, the Chicago Cubs, 333, 407, 622, a 1029 OPS, 5 doubles, 15 hits overall, 2 bombs, and 18 RBI. That's only the Cardinals have as many RBI. The next closest team has 9. Okay? To put that in perspective, the White Sox, who are hitting 360 from the catcher's position, by the way, 3 RBI. 3 RBI. 18 runs driven in by Chicago Cubs catchers. Lip, what's up, man? Happy and sad day. Deleted the Bracket Challenge app, but downloaded them. It is, right? It's that day where it's like, well, I don't need this app anymore until a year from now. I always hate when the tournament ends, but as my wife said, hey, I'm looking forward. It was a great tournament, but time to move the chains forward. All right. Okay, I'm on that. And then the Masters, of course. I know that my guy Swayze was looking for some kind of Masters stream today. I would just like to know what that looks like. The real Phil Simms, good afternoon. Best win so far. Godfather, if only the Cubs had a bullpen. Oh, well, we are under the luxury tax. Godfather, you be you, my man. You're the best. Jess, Steele looked great. I like Colin Ray last night to close. Maybe it's the lack of good closers that have blinded me, but he was able to get through the ninth with no major problems. Keep in mind, Jess, not high leverage, 7-0. Okay. Different story when it's 3-2 and the most important 3 outs of the game fall in your hands in the ninth. Clyde says he's at work. As usual, what's the best option to watch all 3 of my Chicago teams on CHSN? I feel like I got fleeced by CHSN with the trial of White Sox games. Well, hey, I don't know about getting fleeced. At least you got the trial. I would say at this point, your best bet to watch games on CHSN is to stream them and pay for your teams. And to watch all 3 teams, I think it's like $30 a month. I would say just limp in and watch the White Sox only at $20 a month, since the Bulls and the Hawks are going to be done. I mean, the Bulls are going to be done this week. This is the last week of the NBA season. The play-in tournament will be nationally televised, and if the Bulls make the playoffs, while the first round will be on CHSN, you should be able to find a national carrier as well. Becky, welcome in from Oklahoma. Phil, best win of the season so far. Tommy Nichols better come out of his pocket and pay Kyle Tucker now. Stop half-stepping Ricketts. I did a podcast yesterday. They brought me on yesterday. Cap, Gordon Whitmire, we discussed what is the right timing to sign Kyle Tucker, and if he doesn't sign an extension in season, is he all but gone? Eli, what's going on, my friend? Good to have you. Phil, great win by Florida, well deserved. Yeah, I felt a little empty after Florida won, and I had Florida, and we know like the points last night, we split that. I just felt empty. I felt like Kelvin Sampson. That look, it was kind of heartbreaking that. Here's a guy at the end of his coaching career would have had a title. They led the game. They played the game perfectly. It was the first time somebody beat Houston all year when being held to under 70 points. What they did to Clayton in the first half, shutting him out, pretty impressive stuff, yet it didn't equal a win. Tournament was great, and now it's baseball time. Eli, do you think the White Sox finally break the losing streak? They're in Cleveland this afternoon. Cleveland finally getting their home opener in game number 10. I don't like their chances. And that's not because I don't like Shane Smith and Ben Lively's not all that great for Cleveland. I just don't like the White Sox lineup. I mean, they have a tough time scoring runs. Andrew Benintendi is out of the lineup today. What Chase Maedroth is doing in Charlotte, to me, warrants a promotion. It warrants a promotion. Plug him and play him, and let's go. I don't think they get the win today. I'm not feeling it with that crowd in Cleveland getting their first look at the Guardians, who are struggling. They're only a game better than the White Sox. They're 3-6. I don't know. Enjoy working, Jess. Retirement isn't all it's cracked up to be. Oh, come on, Godfather. Come on, my man. We got to get you off the couch, my man. We got to. Don't be all resenting. I know. Trying to find purpose, my brother. We want you part of this community, Godfather. So if that's your retirement purpose, damn it, happy to be here with you. $30 a month for my White Sox on CHSN, it's $20. Just for the White Sox, it's $20. If you want all 3 teams, it's $30. Lip, one shining moment. Always, yeah. I mean, the ball is tipped. Yeah, and there you are. I mean, I stay up every year just to see it. Recorded it last night to watch with the fam. Pablo! I was hoping you'd be on, man. It is your birthday. No place I'd rather be spending my birthday lunch with my REKAP Lunch Hour fam. Happy birthday, Pablo. I mean, you literally are one of the OGs, my friend. You are one of the OGs of this show. And I'm telling you what, you're kind of one of the reasons we started this. And you've been one of the guys from the very beginning, going back to the original October 21st opener. I think you were here for the show. You've been live in person during Bear season at Hooters. You were live when we were out there for the tournament, Pablo. Appreciate you. People, flood the market. flood the market with birthday wishes for our guy Pablo, because he's one of the absolute best on here. We certainly appreciate Pablo. Just for you, my friend, look what I brought. Has nothing to do with the bets. I brought these out specifically for your birthday. This is for you, Pablo. All right, my man. I hope you're wearing somewhere. I hope you are wearing your aviators as well. And you're seeing all of the birthday wishes come in. Lips got you. Swayze's got you. I mean, everybody, OD's got you. The fam is out for your birthday, Pablo. And we certainly appreciate you being here on your day. Eric, my man Steele was outstanding last night. Cubs offense keeps rolling. Bullpen looked good. Tucker needs to be extended ASAP. Great win by Florida. I like Eric. Just spewing, man. Get it all out there. I love it. Yes, great win by Florida. It's certainly a good win by the Cubs. Thanks, Godfather. Definitely not expecting to retire, so I'm glad it's not all it's cracked up to be. I watched CHSN on FUBU, says Eli, which is an option. There are a couple of free ways to get. I mean, honestly, actually, why did I tell you this? The best way to watch your three teams is go buy an antenna and hook it to your television, and then you can get the games for free. The problem is, like, I know, Clyde, I believe you're in Gary. I don't know how far it travels, man. And that's what sucks for the consumer. TJ, if they told Kyle they'd get him to 10-5, he'd sign today, 5 years, $300 million. Dude, he's signing more than that. He's signing like 10 years, $400, especially after what just happened with Vladdy Guerrero Jr. Good afternoon, Guff. Since the SEC was dominant with football, do you see the same with college basketball? No, Houston had Florida on the ropes and beat. I mean, the Big Ten was dominant in college basketball. It will be, with the way the NIL is, you're going to see more of the super conferences going further. I think that's a lock. I hope that we don't get into a situation where all four number one seeds are left standing in the Final Four. However, I will say those were great effing games. Saturday was fantastic. Last night was fantastic. I mean, from a Final Four perspective, I can't remember the last time there wasn't a dud. There were no duds in the Final Four, and that's because you had the cream of the crop playing in it. If Tucker doesn't sign here, he'll probably go to the Dodgers, Becky. Hard not to believe that, because why wouldn't they? Eli also gets to the MLB TV. Godfather's begging us to come out to Hooters and Joliet. Would love to meet everyone. Godfather, I'm telling you, the second we know, you guys will know where our next appearance is, and maybe it is in Joliet. We'll see. If the Cubs hit like they did last night and score runs like they did, they'll win tonight. You'll like what I'm going to have to provide then, Becky, later on in our bet of the day coming up here on the Recap Lunch Hour with Guff, brought to you by Hooters. And yes, the Cubs offense, the Cubs offense is National League-wise, they're the best in the league. $10 a team on CHS. It's not like that. You have to pay either $30 or $20. You can go on to chsn.com for more. That would be fun, Godfather. I'll try to come out to Joliet to say hi. Jess, we got to get you out for sure. We would definitely love to meet you for sure, because you've been another OG from on this show. That's the steal, I know, says Swayze. Clyde's chiming in with a happy birthday to Pablo. I'm doing great, MD. I'm doing great. How are you? Godfather says, enjoy your birthday, Pablo. Here, Clyde, I'm not doing this all day. We're not doing it, Clyde. Pablo, thank you, Guff, my brother. I appreciate everybody's birthday wishes. Love you all, and I love the Aviators. Strong lunch hour family. Pablo, you are at the front of the line. Becky's going to – I came from the top rope on Clyde. Becky's going to do it as well. Thomas, seems like the cold weather was too much for the hot weather team Rangers. Hopefully that's the case for tonight and tomorrow. What's weird about the Rangers, they were the first team in Major League Baseball history to have an 8-2 record and a negative run differential. So something isn't lining up. They probably won a couple of games they shouldn't have. So we'll see if the Cubs can stay hot. I mean, the Cubs they've been playing cold weather baseball now for 4 straight days since Friday. So they got it down pat here before they go back out to the West Coast on Thursday. So not going to be any better tonight. It's going to be clear. Tomorrow it's going to be rainy. So cold for the Cubs. Pablo, you helped to make the lunch hour fun. All the best for another great year around the sun. I could not have said it better. Eli, the Nuggets have fired everybody, the general manager, and on the V. Did I miss something? They're not firing people, are they? Did they fire their GM? Oh, wow. Mike Malone is fired? That's insane. You are correct. Thank you. I love that. This is insane. Mike Malone is fired. That dude's one of the best coaches in the NBA. So thank you for that breaking news, Eli. I appreciate that. Phil, great NCAA tournament. Felt different without Greg Gumbel. It has the last couple of years without Greg Gumbel. Happy birthday, Pablo, from the real Phil Sims. Got a workout in during lunch. Happy birthday, Pablo from Landon. How does AK have a job if they're firing people in Denver? Great way to say it. Tom G, will the Bulls find a way to get rid of P-Well? I think they have to get rid of P-Well. I look amazing. Thanks, Clyde. I appreciate that. Eric, if all four phases of the Cubs keep playing well like this, offense, great starting pitching, defense, and a good bullpen, this Cubs team could be a force come playoff time. Just get in, for sure. It's sad when the Final Four destroys the NBA Finals in quality and ratings. Awesome for the NCAA product, though. And yes, it is. And look, the tournament's always going to roll, always going to rule, but it's much better than watching the NBA right now, especially when guys like Mike Malone are getting fired because the Nuggets, like, it's a players' league. Players dictate what. Guess what? It's actually spring break at Hooters because now that the tournament is on and gone and forgotten, we can't go there anymore to watch March Madness, but they have hot wings, cold drinks, zero regrets. Spring break has landed at Hooters. Looking for scrumptious seafood? It is Lent for a few more weeks for those who observe. For a meal that's shrimply the best, check out the crispy breaded shrimp or shrimp tacos served with curly fries or tots for $9.99 each, or go all out with the Guinness fish and chips, cod fried to golden Irish perfection, served with tartar sauce, coleslaw, curly fries, all for just $12.99. And you know, if you're thirsty, those $6 cocktails all day, every day at Hooters, a proud partner of the Recap, and certainly our presenting sponsor of the Recap Lunch Hour with me, Ryan McGuffey, right here every single day. OD coming in with the breaking news. How much breaking news do we get on the show? It's incredible. Are the Nuggets a playoff team? Yeah, they're currently fourth seed, maybe underperforming. You get the best player in the world, but the final week of the year, you're letting your coach go. Ooh, Masters picks. I love it. I got to play some of these. Lips going with Rahm at 14-1, Neiman at 30-1, Ludwig, Adberg top 5 finish, and Bryson DeChambeau top 10 finish at plus 185. Eli, the NBA insider. This channel has every sport covered. NBA is trash to the playoff start. What the hell is going on in Denver? I'm going to have to do a little bit of recon and figure out why that shocker is going on, because it is, like, of course, it's blown up the social media feed. The White Sox just agreed with Brandon Drury, by the way, who had broken his hand on a minor league deal, assigned him to extended spring training. This is crazy. The Nuggets are also firing GM Calvin Booth. It's just absolute insanity in the NBA. Absolute insanity that it's a players' league and the final week of the year. Crazy. Maybe our tourists can go back to where it all started in Denver. Joe says the White Sox should DFA Amaya, send down Matan, and down and trade Vaughn. They're not trading Vaughn or anything at this point. I could not agree with you more. I think Amaya does get DFA'd when Chase Mydroth gets called up. He might even get DFA'd when Rojas is ready to go. And look, does Matan even have options? There's going to be a lot of DFAs coming with the Chicago White Sox in the future. Here, just found out I won my company's tournament pool. Cool, $2,000 means drinks on me, guys. Swayze, where are we meeting? Woo, 2 G's, kid. Way to take it down. My goodness. Here's the White Sox lineup I was talking about earlier. Tauchman, Robert, Matan, Vaughn, Theis, Sosa, Vargas, Baldwin, Amaya. That's why I like the Guardians today. That's your pick. Your pick? Yeah, you take us anywhere you want. Congrats to you, Swayze. Any NBA or NHL futures? I should actually study some lip, and I can come back to you here within the day or two. Trade Andrew Vaughn where? No one's picking up Andrew Vaughn right now. Arturis is the reason we still have Kobe, drafted Zealous, and traded for Giddey. In my humble opinion, he's earned his stay. Wow, Tom, you're one of one probably in that. Swayze, let's go. Nice, Swayze. Congrats. My sleeper pick for the Masters is Morikawa. Book it. Ooh, look at Swayze got that chest out a little bit. Now he got that cool 2G in his pocket. You know what? All this bet talk has got me thinking it's time for our bet of the day. I've switched this, which is scary. Usually you never want to switch the bet, but did a little studying. Originally I had the White Sox. I had the Guardians run line at -1.5 today, which I still like at +114. That's a 3:00 tilt. I think the over tonight in the Cubs game, I know it's going to be cold. The over hit last night. It was only 6 last night. It's going to be cold. This is like the old fade Patrick Corbin. When he hasn't had an ERA under 5 in a couple of years. I think the Cubs get to the left-hander today. I think Jamison Tyon's probably tacked on for a couple of runs, and this thing hits at least the 8 number for a push. I like this game to go over the total. I do think the Rangers, we know their capability offensively, and the Cubs, from what they're doing from an offensive standpoint, I like where the Cubs are right now. They don't care about the cold. I'm going this to me is a pitching game, and I'm looking at both pitchers to give up a couple of runs. Becky, I saw that Belly ate some bad wings last night and is not playing today. You're welcome, Swayze, for sure. And so this is my bet of the day. And I feel the only thing that I don't like about the pick is that I changed the bet. Yesterday, by the way, I'm putting them on. We split. That was the harm of going with both. I loved Cryer's over. That was my pick if I were picking one. Clayton, I was like, if he can just get 4 or 5 points here in the first half, I think we have a shot. He went off for 11 in the second half, as he was a big part of that comeback that Florida had. But the way Houston stifled him, he was throwing up prayers and they weren't being answered. And we did not hit that. We did hit the Cryer. I told you I'm counting it as one. I'm counting it as 2 separate bets. We did, and we split. But I'm putting the Aviators on because that's what we're doing. Let's go Rangers. I like the over too. Jose Ramirez, a homer against the White Sox at +425. Always a good bet for Jose Ramirez homering against the White Sox. Call Kenny Loggins because Top Guff just entered the highway to the danger zone. Who's going for the Cubbies tonight? Jamison Tyon will be going for the Cubbies tonight in that Yankees game. The Yankees only have 2 hits. Aaron Judge at the bat right now. Tarek Skubal, Cy Young winner, on the bump for the Detroit Tigers, the first place Detroit Tigers, as Aaron Judge 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Tarek Skubal with 4 strikeouts. I did play a small same game in that. Goldschmidt to get a hit, Judge to get hit, Skubal 5 Ks. I'm looking for an Aaron Judge hit right now, and I feel pretty damn good because Goldschmidt led off the game with a base hit. But tonight's one of those nights where we have the Bulls playing the Cavs in Cleveland and the White Sox doing the home opener in Cleveland. We could do the Bulls. We have a Chicago parlay. Anytime we have the 3 going, it's a Chicago parlay. However, I don't like the White Sox today. Unless you want to do this, we could go anti-Chicago parlay, which is no fun. And it's going to hurt you Cub fans out there. You could go Guardians, Cavs, Rangers. Maybe you just do the all Cleveland parlay. Maybe we do that too. I don't know what. I don't think I can do in my right conscience. I can't throw away even $10 to an all Chicago parlay today. I do think the Cubs can win tonight because they're rolling. They're a really good offensive club. And I think right now at Wrigley Field, the way it's playing cold with a warmer weather team, I do think that they have a shot to win the baseball game. Absolutely. Kobe White might not play, shaking my head. Look, why you're playing a team that's 50 games over 500. I mean, the Bulls don't have a shot tonight. Unless the Cavs are benching the entire lineup, I don't see a scenario. Please, will the Hawks hire an offensive-minded coach? This is the most important hire in team history. Wow. Well, we know we got our guy. we have a Blackhawks insider on this show that knows more about who the right coaches are than I do, because the NHL usually is that they rehire more coaches in the league than I've ever seen. So maybe it's going to be another name that we are accustomed to seeing in the NHL that can take over a young team. Swayze's going to do a mix and match. I might too. Good luck with all your bets. Everyone have a great day. See you back here tomorrow. Thank you, Guff. Pablo, seriously, dude, enjoy your day. Happy birthday, man. I'm a big believer in enjoying your birthday. You get one a year. If you're blessed to take another lap each year, enjoy that, man. Enjoy that day. And we certainly appreciate you. The Chicago only pays plus 275. Well, that's because that tells you about the favorites. Maybe it's laying the run line, trying to get creative and boosting that up a bit. And the Bulls are trying to overtake Atlanta. Doesn't matter, Clyde. Honestly, in the grand scheme of things, this is not where we wanted the Bulls to be anyway. But I do appreciate what they've done to get here. The Recap Lunch Hour with Guff is always a success with you people. You find people take care of each other like no group I've ever seen online. And I think it's awesome. And I think it's awesome that you guys look out for each other and look out for yourselves. And I want you to do that today. It's cold in Chicago, but it's certainly sunny. Let's try to hit another bet. Let's get those Cubs bats going again. Keeping the first place Cubs exactly right where they are, 8-5, and I'm trying to get to 9-5. We'll get a couple more here. Does the X-Flyers come to Chicago? Maybe. Smash the like button. Appreciate you, Lip. The game tomorrow might get postponed. No doubt. Afternoon game with rain on the way. Tom says the Bulls will take over the Hawks. And Godfathers, appreciate you, my man. This has been the Recap Lunch Hour, brought to you by the fine people at Hooters. OriginalHooters.com to visit one of the 11 Chicagoland locations. We will see you tomorrow.